episode 150 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the guy on your other screen or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast. It's Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cameron, and congratulations on 150 episodes.
Hello, Brendan. We've been talking for 5 minutes and... did it make a noise? I couldn't hear it.
Oh, it probably didn't. I think this audio probably cut it out. But anyway, congratulations on 150 episodes.
Yeah, why do we not even talk about that beforehand? Or is that in the notes somewhere that I haven't
It is right at the top of the running list, but hey, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, it's like in smallest font you can see.
That's right. We're not about important.
We're not about numbers, are we?
We're not. We're not about numbers at all. We're not even going to talk about numbers this episode, are we?
No, there's nothing to talk about number-wise. It's just
nothing to talk about at all.
Same old, same old. Yeah.
Thank you to the 1,150 of you that have subscribed to the channel to this point, on YouTube, that is. Haven't even looked at the analytics for the audio version of the show, but I'm sure they're going just fine. So thank you. If you're listening along, if you're out walking the dog or do it at the gym or driving your car, welcome aboard.
Get a life.
That's right. Now, Cam,
yes.
Off the top, we've had feedback. And...
Have we what? Have feedback?
Have we what? Look, before we go on, hello to everyone who's tuning in for possibly the second time after seeing one of our interviews we did last week or even the one we did back at the end of November. So thank you for joining to the Down South Photo Show or joining in. Yeah, a bit of feedback was that people didn't like our green screen backgrounds, Cam. Why? What's wrong with those?
I've got an answer, but it may lose all the subscribers we just got from the UK. Yeah, look, we've never claimed to be anything professional.
No.
We like to think we can know our business a fair bit about photography. We're pretty good with that, professional at that. Audio and visual, we're terrible. We're absolute comes to it. So,
yes, it took quite a while back in the day to get our audio right. I mean, we were just doing, I was recording on my phone, for goodness sake. So, and then we got new microphones, which you can see here.
Yeah, I've got the same one.
Yes. That's right. And now we've gone to the next step. So,
well, have we, or have we gone backwards? I don't know. People are going to feedback on this.
Please let us know. We want to know what you think. We've got this is my home office. That's his home office.
This is my little home away from home downstairs.
We like to call them studios, don't we?
Well, I actually can claim this as a studio because I did a masterclass printing studio here with my printer just here the other day. It's my printing station around there.
Very nice.
So I can claim it as a studio, but I must admit the feedback, I took it on board and like I said, it came in thick and fast.
It did.
Some guy said it was disgustingly distracting.
No, he said that, and then he said it gave him a migraine, which I find hard to believe, but...
Well, look, again, I don't want to lose all our new viewers from a certain region of the country, of the world, who may or may not be known to whinge a little bit more than anyone else. Because we're an Australian show, we're Aussie. You can throw as much shit at us as you like, and
now
we'll take some note, but we'll probably ignore the rest.
Now, part of the new background, what I was hoping for was that we'd have a mascot sitting behind us.
How'd that go?
Well, he's got his spot there, but not so good. But right now he's sitting down here. So should we try and get him on the couch?
Well, if he wants to get on the couch, he can get on the couch. But
mate,
there you go. If he just stays there the whole episode, that would be brilliant. But
yeah,
we tried beforehand. Look, there you go. Now just freeze frame that and then green screen your background again.
Yeah. Now this is where he does something disgusting that dogs do probably. But anyway, that's everyone. That's Buddy. Buddy's in the house. So Buddy has appeared on the show before, and there he goes. But anyway, we'll see. I'm kind of hoping through winter, which it's summer here for us now, but through winter, hopefully he'll set up on there. Anyway, that's enough of that. We probably should talk about photography.
No, don't we have something to announce, like a competition winner or something?
We do. So we had our December comp run and won on our Facebook page, and the very talented and amazing Glenn Lavender volunteered his time to judge the comp. And the winner was to win a $100 gift voucher from Ocean Grove Camera and Photo, which is the business I own and run. So here is the winning image on the screen now. Ta-da! And the winner is Les Oakey.
Les Oakey. Well done, Les.
Give it up for Les.
I don't know where it's taken from. So the theme was foreign, wasn't it?
The theme was foreign, and
Looks
yeah,
like it
so
might be
it's.
like Thailand or something
I
like
think
that.
it's Tahiti, but I'll put that up on the screen as well. So, well done to you, Les. Cool shot. And as I say, Glenn Lavender was the judge, so all correspondence should be sent straight to him.
Yeah. Any complaints? Uh, Glenn Lavender photo, I think it is.
Nothing to do with us.
What? Nothing.
Nothing to do with us at all.
But we do
So
have a new
we'll get in contact with you, Les.
Yeah, but we do have a new comp now for January, even though January is going to be 10 days in. This comp is going to be focused on mountains. So we want to see your best shots of mountains.
Mountains.
I think mountains classes as something that's not just a little rock. It's got to be a mound or something. So don't send us your little rock
well,
shots
you know,
backyard.
no, I like people who go a bit outside the square. So
True.
you can come up with whatever you want to come up with, but the theme is mountains.
So we'll run that until the end of Jan. We'll announce a winner. There will be a Facebook post pinned on our Down South Photo Show Facebook page, so you can upload them there. We're not as fancy as other podcasters and vloggers where they have their own website and put their competitions through there. We apologize in advance for those who may get offended by that. Facebook page, Down South Photo Show on Facebook, put them in there. There'll be a pinned post by the time this comes out. And yeah, we want mountains. And I'm sure there'll be some pretty cool mountains, especially from our new listeners and viewers overseas.
Yes, definitely.
Be interesting to see, like Switzerland or something like that, or out in the snowy mountains out in the back of America, or whatever they might be.
Yeah, the Rockies.
Cool. The Rockies, that's it. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. So yeah, get your mountain photos in, folks, and we'll Cam will give you a prize in February if you win.
Yeah, I'll give you a book. I'll send a book out.
Now, avid listeners and viewers of the show will know that quite often we do our backgrounds on the show. So now that we have a new format where we show off our studios instead, we'll put a photo up on the screen, which will be Cam and I's photo of the week. And Cam, you're going first. There's your photo right there.
Right, yeah. What did I give you again? No.
Yeah, that's right. Now it's all messed up. We don't know what's what.
I can't see. Like I don't know. No, this photo was taken. We've had a really good period here between sort of Christmas and New Year of aurora activity. So this was the other night. This was, I believe, it would have been probably just after New Year's Eve, so maybe 3 or 4 days after New Year's Eve. I was still a little bit unwell with what I've had dealing with over the last few weeks, so I didn't go out and do too much. But when we did go out, we went out to do the bioluminescence, the blue algae in the water, and that was a bit of a flop. It had sort of floated out to sea with the tide and wasn't really there. But as we're sort of thinking of moving on and packing up, we looked at the app to see what the aurora was doing, and by jingo, it was cranking. We had this massive aurora, probably the second or third biggest one we've had in the last 12 months. And so off we went. So I thought I was getting back to bed at 10 o'clock. I was getting back to bed about 2 o'clock. So this shot is actually, it's a one single shot. It's a 15 mil shot from a place called Old Beach, which is just out of Hobart in Tasmania here, looking back at Mount Wellington and looking over sort of towards Hobart. It was huge. And then I ended up going to bed, and apparently it got bigger and bigger and bigger as the night went on. So, well, again, it still blows my mind that we get this down here, and it definitely is getting stronger each sort of year. I know we're coming through a bit of a solar maximum type of season, but yeah, it's definitely making an interesting night out with the cameras for sure.
Yeah, these things are impossible to forecast, but yeah, everything I'm reading, all the metrics are pointing towards it being another pretty big year for Aurora Australis. So, which means also our friends in the Northern Hemisphere will get a good show as well. So bring that on, I guess, as photographers. That's what we want to.
Yeah.
We like photographing the pretty lights.
Yeah, I think they're great to shoot. And down here in Tassie, it's a bit, I guess we're not, because we're a small island, like there's only so many places you can go, but being in the Northern Hemisphere would be pretty cool because you could probably go a few different places unless you're in England, where you're on an island as well. But if you're on the mainland of Europe, you could certainly go to some pretty cool places. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's good fun. It's good to see. Gets people out. The roads get really busy. You're driving around at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's peak hour. With cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly
it is
right.
pretty cool. But yeah, no, it's good fun. It was good to see, and got lucky with the shot.
Cool. Nicely done. And now swap over. Bang. That's my shot of the week. That is the magnificent Barwon Heads bridges that are quite close to my home, actually. So I can be at this location in about 6 or 7 minutes if I see a nice sunset. P.S. when we do these in summer, which is our summer now, we record of an evening, and just about guaranteed every time we press record, there's a magnificent sunset going on outside my window, and tonight is no exception.
We just had I don't know if you heard it, we just had a huge helicopter fly over our house. I don't know what's going on there.
Truth. No, but anyway, it's a nice sun. Anyway, this is the Bowen Heads Bridges, a fantastic location if you're in the area. You've got, the great classic leading lines, but over on the other side, you've got the old restaurant and jetty and stuff that's over there. Made famous by this TV show Sea Change, that is known as Diver Dan's. If anyone's familiar with the TV show, the Australian TV show Sea Change, that's where that was filmed. But yeah, Bowen Heads Bridges, you can't really go wrong if you get a good sunset. So do yourselves a favour. Speaking of, we'll have a group of people down there this time next week-ish when we do our one-day workshops that we're running, which are sold out. So I kind of said we wouldn't mention them, but now I've mentioned them.
Hey, what are we going to do? That's next Friday. What are we going to do about we're going to do a live recording?
Well, we probably shouldn't.
No, we probably should. On location, live show.
No, we'll probably record it earlier in the week next week, but that's next week. Let's not worry about that. We thought we'd sort of talk a little bit about the feedback that we have received with the interview that we were very fortunate to have with Tom Heaton. Again, just tell our audience, Cam, how that came about.
Well, it was a lot of research. There was a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah. A lot of backwards and forwards, wasn't there?
Lots of back between his manager and me, and
our manager, yeah,
all that kind of stuff. And his people spoke to our people, but really, it just came down to the end of just asking if he'd come on, and that was about it. I sent him an email. I think it was just before Christmas. I think it was that we sent it. I think it was. Within a week, he came back and said, "Hey guys, love to come on the show. When do you want to do it?" And we set up a time that was good for him. And away we went. And it was really interesting. And, without giving too much away, we've also got someone else who has emailed back saying, "Hey, let's have a chat. I'd love to come on the show." So now we're going to work around that person's schedule and see if we can get them on the show. But it was, I know, like you look at these guys, they've got massive followers that, they got, like Tom said, he gets recognized wherever he goes type of thing. And, we're certainly not at that level yet, but for them to be able to come on this little Aussie photo show and have a chat for an hour or a bit, not only is it great for us to meet these people, it's great for the viewers to get an insight. I watched a few of Tom's interviews before we did ours, and I feel like our one, he was, very forthcoming with information and how he runs his YouTube channel and his photography. And I don't know if that's because we're a bit more relaxed with people. I don't know, but he seemed to open up a bit, which is great. And
well, I mean, as he said as well, his level of authenticity he wants to shine through. And look, by all accounts, it certainly did. The feedback that we've had, the comments on that video have been, and it's far and away our most watched video now, which is fantastic. So thank you for everyone who checked it out. But we've had, the feedback's been absolutely magnificent. So thanks for everyone who commented and shared that video around. It's greatly appreciated. And as Cam alluded to, we do have another photographer lined up to come on the show, and hopefully more than just one. We're sort of looking to make a bit of a series of our interviews that we put up. So far, we've done on the channel 7 or 8 interviews with different people. And what I will do is I'll collaborate those interviews and put them under one tab on our YouTube page as well, under an interviews page. So
you do that, can you?
You can, apparently. So I'm going to do that. And then, if you want to jump on and check out those interviews, you can. They're great because, as Cam said, it gives you insight into a photographer that you may not necessarily get on their own channel, because no one's going to sit there and talk about themselves on their own channel. You need that sort of interview backwards and forwards sort of process to open them up a bit and, as I say, lift the curtain on what they do. And as I say, Tom certainly did that for us, so that was great. As a teaser, the next person we've got lined up is also from the United Kingdom.
Oh, that's very teasy.
That's all we will say.
Again, I think we just to thank Tom as well for coming on. Like I said, we don't pay for these interviews. They give us their time, the goodness of their heart, and we said we'd give him an hour, and I think we could have kept chatting for another half an hour if we wanted to with him. But what it does do with these interviews, not only does it give us an insight into their world and gives you guys an insight into their world, but it also brings new faces and new eyes onto our channel, which is great. And we saw a bit of a spike in people following our show on the back of that. So that's also positive for getting these people on, is that we start bringing in some of their audience to see how we do things down here in Australia. And so who knows? We're doing a little bit for Australian tourism, perhaps.
Absolutely. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Nick Carver, because I think Nick coming on our channel might have been the lead domino that sort of started this chain of events to bring more and more people onto the show. As Cam said, people with a greater audience and a bit of bigger following. So thanks again to Nick, because on the back of Tom's episode, people have gone back and watched the Nick Carver interview as well. So for those of you who don't know, about 5 episodes ago, we'll link it below, there was an interview with Nick Carver out of States, who is an absolute genius, and so much so that Tom Heaton even mentioned Nick's name several times in the interview, which was just by chance, and Ben Horn's name, who we've had on the channel as well. So
I think it's fair to say they're setting the trend here.
Look, that goes with it.
And really, it's not us asking these people; they're asking to come on the show.
That's right.
Because they want to. Well, it's funny because Nick Carver on his one, when he outdid Ben Horn, he's like, "Take that, Ben Horn," as a bit of a joke.
That's right.
But I haven't heard anything from Nick Carver now since
he's gone quiet now. Yeah,
all quiet now. But I tell you what, I would love to get those guys out to Australia. I'd like. They both mentioned it is a long way. We've been there. We know how far it is. But it would be amazing just to get, even those 3 out for a couple of weeks or something like that. Put them out in the middle of outback Australia, where there's some cool landscapes to take a few beers, and it would be a great little trip to do. So God knows how we'd do it. We'd have to get someone to sponsor it or
I've got one word for you, Cameron.
Cash.
Carragini. Let's all meet there.
That would be cool. But I don't know how, if people would love to see that happen, I'd love to hear their comments. If you'd like to see Ben Horn, Nick Carver, and Tom Heaton hang out with us too in Australia,
that'd be pretty awesome.
Put it in the comments about give us some ideas of how we get them out here without.
I think all of us collectively are free in 2028. So if we put the word out now, we might be able to make it happen then.
I don't know. If someone came up to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, how about a trip to, Carragini, and we'll fly out there." I'd drop a few things to do it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that'd be epic. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen down the track? But it would be pretty cool. And one point I'd like to make is, and I say this a lot on the show, is the thing I think I definitely enjoy about doing this is that we don't have to force this channel. It just the growth has genuinely been organic. It's like-minded people, and I think that's what maybe carries the show the way it does, because it's again, that word authenticity is there. So hopefully, but like we said, we'd like your feedback. So please, question anything you want to talk about, whether it's our fantastic new backgrounds. By the way, none of this product is sponsored product. This is just crap I own.
You've certainly pointed the brands quite nicely towards.
I didn't. That was not intentional.
It's not a golf show.
I've got Titleist in there.
We're going. This is episode 150, and we're going into year 4, which is crazy.
Where's that time gone?
We haven't done anything apart from have a chat every couple of weeks or every week. And it's lovely to see it grow, and it's great to see some new viewers on there. I would love to see this get a bit bigger overseas as well. I was looking at some stats. New Zealand rates really well, so g'day to everyone in New Zealand. The UK and the US are probably the next 2 big markets around with Australia, but it'd be great if we actually started touching base, because Australia is such a bloody desirable place to come.
Absolutely.
And if we can sort of give people a bit of an insight as to what Australia's photography and photographing Australia is like, then power to us. That'd be awesome to get more viewers. So spread the word.
Let's give that a crack, shall we?
What's that? Give it a crack.
Getting
fair
more... It's truth.
It's true.
So one thing that we wanted to chat about on the show that was brought up, both Nick Carver and Tom Heaton mentioned. Look, we'll stop name dropping. We won't mention them anymore. Was printing your photos. We wanted to talk about this because it's become quite a thing now, on the back of the interviews, but also on the back of the little event that you had on the weekend, Cam. And feel free to plug the fact that you've got more of these coming up as well. Tell people what you did over the weekend.
So we put on a few weeks ago, I thought about doing some sort of anything, sort of like a field to print type of 2-day workshop. Um, so many times we do these workshops, you and I do it, we go out for a few days. You come back, you might do a little bit of editing with people, but that's it. They just move on and off to their next little workshop they go. But there's nothing to take home with them to show what they did. So what I did is I put a 2-day workshop together here in Hobart, where the first day we go out to a national park, capture a heap of images at all different times of the day. And then the next day we come into my studio here and we do some printing. And everyone walks away with like an A2 print of one or two of their shots from the day. But it was really lovely to see. The first day was very much, okay, we do this all the time. We go out and shoot, we set up. But, we're going to shoot with a bit of a different purpose today, because we want to make sure we get some hero shots for the printer. And it just changed people's mindset. And then when they were in here on the Sunday, we spent 5 or 6 hours editing and printing and chatting. And the change of attitude from people from, oh, that looks okay on the screen, I like that shot, to, oh, wow, that looks amazing on paper. Like, there was a massive difference. So, on the back of what Tom was saying and Nick was saying, because they print their work, same with Ben, he prints his work as well. It's really important that you do print some work. And the main message I was trying to get across to people was to try and work from the end result backwards. So you're looking to do some nice prints, then take your time at the start to get the files right and the exposure right and the composition right, and it'll pay dividends in the end. So that one really well. January sold out. I've got one in February that's sold out, and I've just put out one in June that's already half sold out. So there is a big interest in people wanting to do some prints or learn a bit about color management and print management and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed it. It was great.
Yeah, good. And I think what came across from the people we had on the show and ourselves as well, and I've said this for years, is a photo is not a photo until it's printed, and I stand by that. Literally, photography was all about getting to a print, and it has been for we can say centuries now. It was all about creating an image, a printed image that you could actually see from a photograph. So I love the fact that a lot of big name photographers are spruiking printing again, because there is something about it. There's something about it's the tactile nature of a print. It's more than the pixels on a screen. It's ink on paper. It's, in some cases, if you want to go back to darkroom stuff, and it's the silver halide process, which is absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's
magic.
It's kind of a shame nowadays that that's harder and harder to find, but I kind of get it as well, because silver halide processing is absolutely atrocious for the environment. There's no question about that. And to be perfectly honest, inkjet printing's not far behind, given the disposable nature of ink cartridges and things like that. However, I think the printed image really drives home the photograph. And you don't have to look any further than Peter Dombrovskis's image of Rock Island Bend. That print, which, man, I go into houses now and I see it hanging up in people's houses. The old Save the Franklin print that they did. Imagine if that was never saw the light of day, that image.
Well, that's the thing. If they sit on hard drives, they don't the story doesn't get told.
No.
The story just stays hidden away until someone finds the hard drive and goes, oh, wow, I got a whole heap of great photos from wherever. And that was the thing on the weekend. Like there was, I wouldn't say there was any amazing, mind-blowing shots taken, because we didn't have the greatest light and things like that. But the photos, like just the detail and the sharpness and the texture of what they were taking photos of. People, like, we actually got some bioluminescence in the waves. We got some shots of some waves, and one of the ladies, I think it was Lisa, got it. This beautiful shot, and the look on her face when it printed out, she's like, "That looks amazing." I'm like, "How good does it look?" You put it on a frame on your wall behind you.
Yep.
That's a story for everyone to see until you're long gone, because that paper's going to outlast you. So I think it's really important, and this is a message we should be all spreading around the landscape photography world, is that you need to print your photos. You need to print them out. You don't have to print every single one of them out. But get a hero shot, frame it up, put it on your wall, be proud of it, let it tell its story.
Yeah, I mean, we're far from telling you to print everything. I mean, but as Cam said, and I think you're completely right. And I've been in the printing game for a long time, so I'm quite lucky. I'm not lucky. I've made this happen, but you know what I mean. I run camera and photo. I've got a 44-inch printer that prints amazing canvas prints and like that. You know, and I, I think I look at photography. I think it changed for me when I got my own business in printing, because I started looking through the lens with an aim to print.
Yeah.
And what's going to look good on a wall may shift your focus, pardon the pun, on how you capture an image. It's just another factor that goes into the creative process. And I love it. Now, I'm, again, fortunate. I get to sell my photos through my business. I get much more of a blast out of when people come in with their own photo that we turn into a canvas like this size here. I mean, that's a 60 by 40 inch canvas. It's like a meter and a half by a meter tall. And, you know, the look on their faces when they see the finished product, there's nothing beats it. Nothing.
Well, I reckon I got more excited on the weekend at other people's print, and I had a couple of emotions on the weekend. It's like, hey, how good does that look? That's unreal. Like, great, that looks great. I had a couple of people like, oh, I don't know if it's going to print very well. I'm like, let's print it and find out. And by the end of the day, I felt like saying to these people, thanks for coming along. I told you so. You should have. Like, printing makes things so much better.
Yeah.
And they all walked out. They all got a couple of A2 prints, and I gave away a whole heap of my A4 prints that I've just sort of printed on, just so they could see things. So sort of encouraging. But yeah, the look on their face and the pride in that, oh my God, I actually created that from yesterday. I walked out, I did that, I've edited it here, and I printed it, and now I've got something to show for what I did. And
I sincerely hope they get those images on the wall, because I love going to someone's house for like a dinner party or a barbie or whatever, and seeing a photo on the wall that they've taken. I will stand there and talk with them about that image for half an hour.
Yeah,
you know, and they're not just a talking point. They're something to be proud of, and they will really engage people particularly when you do them big. I'm a massive fan of big prints. And these days, houses are so big. Like, everyone lives in a massive house and they've got all these big blank walls. Well, not everyone does, but a lot of people do. And they've got big blank walls, and they look so good these days. The technology has come so far with how we can produce prints now. And look, I'm by no means a master printer, but I've been doing it long enough now. I've got my head around it. I know how it all works. And yeah, it's just awesome. It's just so cool to see, even seeing the image come off the printer.
Yeah. No, that was the same thing. We had it sort of printing out here, which was amazing. One other thing that was really interesting that a lot of people learned on this weekend, and hopefully we'll take it forward, is that process of editing to print. We did a few prints where I purposely sort of upsaturated a few things and stuff like that. And then I'm like, let's just have a look and see how that's going to transfer onto this printer and paper and the ink we're using. It. And a lot of times, it was sort of clipping some colors and things like that, which are going to struggle on the printer. And a lot of them are like, well, I would never have even thought of that. I'm like, it looks pretty on the screen. That's all I really care about. Well, that's nice. But, you really want to be looking to make it look pretty on a piece of paper, not necessarily on a screen. So
yeah, that's right. And that's where things like monitor calibration is very important.
Yes.
Doing test prints is crucial.
Yes.
And if you're lucky enough to have a good relationship with a printer, and we're not, by all means, we're not saying rush out and buy the latest Epson or Canon or HP printer. What we're saying is try and forge a good relationship with a local business that prints. And I'm reluctant to name names, but please don't use the big department stores.
Harvey Norman.
Don't use them.
I'll name them.
They will ruin your photography. They will ruin it, because they don't care. They're going to print a document, and then they're going to print a photo, and then they're going to print a crappy poster on plain paper, and then they're going to print something on what they call gloss photo paper. And seriously, folks, I mean, they print to a price. That if you've got, like, birthday invitations, or if you've got a poster that you're advertising for a local school, knock yourself out. Off you go to those places. But for your photography, please get your stuff printed by someone who knows what they're doing. And you don't have to dig too far. There's plenty of places around. If you live remotely, if you live rural, there are places that will help you online. I will. If you want to send images to me at Camera and Photo, we can help you out. And give you tips and stuff along the way. And a big focus of mine of late has been helping people get great prints. So even to the point where I'm now looking to offer like online, tips and tricks and hints and stuff to help you out. And that will be coming in 2025 as well. So because there's this nice pushback towards printing, which we love.
Well, it's like, even when we're talking to the guys on the interviews, it's It's the same with everything. Like I got a record player over there. It plays vinyl. I got all this vinyl, and you still can't beat putting that record on and putting the needle down and listen to it scratch and all. It's the same with film. Film making a comeback. Printing should be in that same category. You know, like yes, you know, you don't have to print everything. We were talking about like photo books. Even if you do trips, even if you make photo books, there's something that people can hold to look at your photos. A photo needs to be held, not just scanned on a screen for 5 seconds and go, oh, that's cool. Yeah, what else did you get up to? Type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really important. So
And even your classic 6x4 prints. I mean, so my daughter, who's now 18 years old, when she turned 10, I made her a photo album of her first decade of life.
right.
It's got 300 images in it, basically 30 images per year of her being alive. It's in an album. It's in her room. Hand on heart, I reckon she gets that down and looks through it every few months.
Yeah.
And you know, they're all in one place. It's not like she has to log on and flick through a screen and ignore 10 messages that she gets from her friends on Snapchat. You know, it's there. And when we have family gatherings, that comes out all the time. Like particularly when it's older family members come over, you know, and we pull that down and show it to them. So there's that, but there's also don't be afraid, as Cam said, photo books. Which I'm in both. I've got a foot in both camps about photo books. I can take them or leave them, but just printing them and making your own album, they can look fantastic.
And I think I love books. Like this is a book that I'm part of, the Tarkine. It's done by Australian Geographic. It's got a whole heap of different photographers in it from Tassie and all over. But there's just something about looking at photos in a book. Like
that's brilliant.
Like it's just something you can spend hours in a book. You can't spend hours on looking at a file. And I think this day and age, we spend way too much. Like, look at that. That's bloody. I don't know whose that is, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
There's something about.
Hello to everyone listening to the podcast and can't see that.
Yes, sorry.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? Like it's something you can hang on to and look at and come back. Like you said, a photo album, you can come back to that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You know, you go through a trip of wherever on your hard drive, you look at it once, you edit a few, bang, it's gone. And that's shit. I don't like that. Like we need to be able to go back with these memories and have a look more.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, like they always say, if your house is on fire, what's the first thing you want to grab is the photo album, you know? So, and that's how important it is to print those images. So, if you've got any questions, by all means, hit us up in the comments below and drop us a line, you know. Cam, your website is?
My website or our website?
Your website.
Oh, my website, tazphoto.com.au.
And mine is cameraandphoto.com.au, but dsps.com.au, Down South Photo Show, DSPS, it's on the screen there. Jump on our website and have a look, and that's where you can contact us as well. But if you want to go to our individual businesses, tazphoto.com.au, cameraandphoto.com.au.
Hey, question without notice.
Shoot.
You mentioned 2025.
Yes.
What do you got planned for this year?
Well, here we are, huh?
Big change happening with camera and photo, or
camera and photo will hopefully stay business as usual. My lease is up, I know that. So I've got my 3-yearly review for my lease, but I can't see Ocean Grove Camera and Photo going anywhere. As much as I have from time to time vented my displeasure with certain aspects of customer service to your good self, Mr. Blake. I do like it. I do like it. I do enjoy running that business and having people come in and talk to me about photography. It's pretty cool. I mean, and we're so few and far between now. Like independent photo stores are really hard to find, and I love that I'm not hanging on for grim death or anything. Like the business is going just fine, and I really enjoy the interaction I have with photographers, and to a certain extent, people who just want to print some photos off their phone, you know, from holiday snaps or whatever. That's fine, but I love turning them into photographers. Like people who come in with their iPhone, and you can tell they've actually. You and I can both tell someone who's got an eye for photography. That is a thing. That might be a topic for a whole other episode, but having the eye for photography, I think that is definitely a thing. And I really enjoy that conversion where I've got someone who's got really cool photos on their phone and then just sort of, you know, planting the seed and just saying, you know, if you had such and such a lens, or if you had this camera, you know, you realize that image would be this much better and you could make it this big and you could blah, blah, blah. So I still enjoy that. So as far as 2025 goes, I think I'm pretty much locked into camera and photo, probably for at least the next couple of years, maybe 3 years. I'll probably go ahead and sign another 3-year lease. Hopefully my landlord's not listening. They don't listen to this. Um, so I think I'll, yeah, definitely stick with camera and photo.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to doing more workshops with your good self. The ones that we've got on the go. Photography workshops are so cool. And then it's not just because of the financial side, because they are part of our business and we do rely on them to make money, and that's cool. It's also the genuine side that comes out of photo workshops, and that is seeing people take great photos, putting people into great locations, and then assisting them to capture that location. Can anything beat that? I don't think so.
It's a pretty, like, you're right, like it's a business and it's there to help make money, but the rewards are by far much more than financial.
Far greater.
Not like the way I look at tours and photo workshops and stuff now is, okay, one, we get to go some pretty cool places, which, not many jobs get to travel like that. Two, we get to meet some pretty awesome people. Everyone's there for the right reason. The camaraderie you get in the cars as you drive between spots and things like that. Lots of laughs and things like that. So that's really cool. But like you said, it's the beauty of watching people get that bug or get bitten by it, or that one shot that they get where it just goes, oh, I think I get all this, and then from there you can't keep hold on to it. They just keep going and going and going, which is great. So it's a lucky job that we do. And yeah, it's hard work, but it is also probably not as hard as what some people work, which we should be fortunate about.
Oh no, that's exactly right. We've got it's great when people come on the workshops. I absolutely love it. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain when I say this that without doubt, everyone who's ever been on a workshop with me or with you or joint ones that we do, I don't think I've ever spoken to someone who's not been happy with it or gone, I didn't get one good photo. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, it's
funny. On the weekend, so as we're sort of getting our way out to Mountfield National Park, which is a beautiful place.
Gee, what a terrible location. Why did you choose there?
I know. On the way out, and we sort of started walking and talking as we got there, and I'm like, look, we've got one day here. We got sort of all day into sunset, maybe into some aurora or astro or bioluminescence in the waves. I said, if you don't walk away with 6 decent photos from this day, then I won't give you your money back, but I'm doing something wrong. And every single one of them probably had about 8 or 9 shots they could have printed out, which looked really, really good. So, a lot of people will say, oh, I just don't think I'll get a great shot or this or that. But by the time they get to the end of it, they definitely have.
Yeah.
The ones that get to the end of it and go, I didn't really get anything, or I just didn't really have fun. I think they're like, the Scrooges of photography. They don't know how to enjoy photography.
Yeah.
And if they're putting way too much stress and pressure on themselves about that, then they're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. So you need to let go of the reins a bit and enjoy it, as well as, try and get some good shots.
So, question without notice for you, people who came on the weekend to your masterclasses, lots of different camera models, or are we?
Good one. So we had Nikon, Canon, Fuji, Olympus.
You basically had the Trinity plus one.
And I had my little Leica as well. So we had.
Oh, there you go.
We had 5 people, and we had 5 different camera brands, I think.
Yep.
So, it was really interesting. And it was really cool to see. Like, I'd met all bar a couple of these people before, and just the different working dynamics of how people go about their setting up of the shot and what they look for, and then how they edit stuff. Like, everyone sort of had a bit of an idea about editing, which I let them sort of go first. Okay, you try and do this one and let's have a look. And then I went and try to edit it, and they're like, oh, okay, that looks different. I didn't realize you could do that or do this. But it's really cool to see a group of people that, are really poles apart in what they do, sort of walk out at the end with sort of a similar goal going forward, that, okay, I've got to watch highlights, I've got to watch shadows, I've got to watch sharpness, I've got to watch composition, I've got to do this and that. And it was really cool. So if these masterclasses, which seem to be really popular, I'll probably keep running them every few months. They're quite exclusive. We only sort of had 5 or 6 people on each one, mainly because I can't fit too many people down here. But it made it really intimate and really cool. It was good fun.
Yeah, I'm toying with a few ideas with workshops at the moment. Just sort of, it's that time of year, like, new year, and we sort of regenerate our ideas a little bit. We start thinking. Not that I've had much time to think. Ocean Grove, I think I mentioned this last year on the show. The population of Ocean Grove basically quadruples at this time of year, which I love. Obviously, I love it. I've got a business here, so it's great when people come in and they buy my photography. That's great. But, there's a lot of people around, so I get very, very busy. So I find myself at the end of the day kicking back with, just a cheeky little beer and trying to sort of look at what the new year is going to bring. And one of the ideas I came up with was I want to run a photography walk here in Ocean Grove. Where
you want to run a walk or walk a run?
I want to run a walk. I want to run a photography walk. I want to organise a photography walk where basically we meet. See, the great thing about Ocean Grove is there's a beach path that goes all the way to Bowen Heads. A night like tonight would have been absolutely perfect for it, for example, and because the sunset now is still like 8:45 or something, it's quite late. Meeting at the Ocean Grove Lookout, for example, and literally just like-minded photographers going for a walk. No. And as we go, I'm there. Like let's find a subject, let's pull it apart. And it's funny you should say free of charge, almost. I would almost give it away. It'd be like maybe $30, something like that, where it's just, it could be an hour, it could be 90 minutes, just a sunset shoot. We might get 10 people and that's it, So something like that, I'm toying with those ideas. Of course, you've got to be here. You've got to get to Ocean Grove. So there's everything involved with that. But I know for a fact that there's a lot of locals and a few that watch the show, because they say in the shop all the time, they watch. So hello, everyone locally who watches the show, who are sort of screaming out for that sort of stuff, but are a little bit frustrated with the costs involved with some workshops. The tours that we run, they're tours. They're 4 or 5 day tours. We include meals, accommodation. They're going to be expensive. We get that. But I definitely think there is a niche market there for smaller, shorter, more impactful one-on-one style workshops. That's the kind of thing that I'll be sort of looking to set up in 2025. And look, you got to try these things and see how it goes.
Yeah. So, sounds cool.
Yeah. So back at you, 2025 for Cam Blake. What are we looking at?
I thought I was going to have a quieter year. I think it's going to be a similar year.
2024 was quite the year for you. Aside from the globetrotting aspect, you kept saying to me in 2023 that you wanted to cut them back, and now, and then you probably did more workshops than ever last year.
Well, someone asked me, Adam Edwards, who's another great photographer from BFOP, who's now opening a gallery, Broken Hill. He's going to open the gallery 1st of March, I think he said.
Well, I'm going to the opening.
Yeah, I think we should go up there. I'm sure
road trip.
3 pits for sure. He asked me how many workshops I had this year, and I went and had a look, and not including all the single day ones and the little ones we do and things like that. It's like 23 different workshops over a year. So, which is pretty crazy, but it is spread out a bit more. I'm not away as consecutive as I was last year, but there's just more workshops. Again, I'd be like you. I get to the start of the year, I'm like, okay, how can we sort of spruce this up a bit? What can we do to appeal to maybe a different range of photographers or a different, financial level of photographers, like you've mentioned? That's a little bit what these masterclasses were for, is to try and give people a bit of a taste and a bit more skill, a bit more one-on-one type of skill teaching in a day or two. But it'll be just getting through each workshop, making sure everything goes all good. Like I said, I got a young daughter starting high school this year, so that's going to be exciting.
Amazing, isn't it?
It is. And just keep having fun. Obviously, big change this year with our 5-star Dan helping. So that's changed up a few things. I could probably announce that Cheryl Davis, who does the macro photography, she's going to help out a fair bit this year. She's sort of clearing her calendar to help out. We're doing some macro workshops, but she also is very good at landscape photography and knows her stuff. You and I will be doing workshops.
Cheryl's a fantastic acquisition, if I can put it that way. Sorry, Cheryl, he hasn't acquired you at all, but you know what I mean. She's fantastic. Her macro stuff is just amazing.
Well, even last night she went and did they do night stalks, which we're going to be doing in the Daintree when we go up there. There's a group in WA who go out together, and she sent me this photo. It was really quite funny. It's this photo of everyone, like just this typical nature reserve track, like it's a track with bushes and stuff. But in the photo, it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 different photographers, all with their head torches, with their head in the bushes, taking shots of these macro things. And I said, that's one of the weirdest photos I've ever seen. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's great. She showed me some shots last night. She did, and yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good. She's a different type of character to Dan. Like it'd be a different sort of dynamics on the trips, but and we'll miss Dan being on there and keeping me company. But I'm sure he'll be back. But yeah, that's it. 2025. It's just more of the same. But yeah, just playing it around. Really.
Yeah, we keep tweaking things. So that's what it's all about.
It is. That's right. So
it's now, Cam. Did you know, Cam, that you can go to dsps.com.au and you can buy us a beer? Did you know that?
No, get out of town.
I know it's a new thing. We've been doing this for a while. There's a little button that says buy us a beer. Now, what that does is buy us a beer, literally. So we can, relax at the end of a hard working day or workshop and enjoy a beer. But what it also does is it helps the channel. It pays for things like YouTube Premium. It pays for things like microphones, etc. So if you feel that way inclined, jump on. We don't have sponsors or paid
sponsors. Things. No, it's not sponsored by Squarespace.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I just had a really radical thought.
This is a question without notice.
Yeah, this is a statement without notice. Yes. So we went to America earlier this year, didn't we?
We did. Yes, in 2024 we did.
And every dollar we spent, Australian dollars, gave us about 63 cents American.
Something like that.
And I went to Scotland, the UK, last year as well.
Yeah. Yes.
And for every dollar over there, it cost me about 50 cents in the UK.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
With all these new wonderful people from the motherland, United States, buying a beer has never been cheaper for you.
This is true.
Yeah. So really, like you guys over there who force us to change our backgrounds to be studios, you owe us. I think it's fair that you buy us a beer from the other side of the world. You don't have to physically buy it. You just got to put money onto a PayPal account.
That's right.
But your money goes a lot further than ours. So it only seems fair that, let's see how many people buy a beer now.
Yeah, when you put it that way, I'm sure it'll be an absolute stampede to dsps.com.
Yeah. We'll be able to retire on that.
And while you're there, check out our workshops, check out the photos that we put up. Probably one little thing that we will do during this year is keep that website up to date and maintained with things like links to our comps. At one point, we did do our photo of the weeks up there, and we might do photo of the month or something like that. But anyway, but yeah, head over to dsps.com.au and check all that out. That would be awesome to see you there. And by all means, hit the subscribe button and also the notifications button, because we do have some exciting guests planned to come onto the show in 2025. So that's going to be a cracker.
We've reached out to a few. You gave me one today that I'll get a bottle of whiskey. You said if they write back.
I don't think I think I would faint if this person said yes. So anyway, but we won't know names. It's exciting.
If you've got to ask, don't you?
You do. You've got to ask these things. So, so speaking of beer donations, our beer donators for this week are
we have Jenny from the block.
Welcome to the show, Jenny. Don't believe she's been on before.
Is she joining us in any workshops? Yes, she is. Joining us. Oh, no, that's last year. Hang on. Yes, she is. She'll be there on the Friday.
Excellent.
And a newcomer who bought us a beer. I don't know if they're from the UK though. Mel H, Mallory H, maybe Mel H.
Maybe it's Malcolm. Maybe it's not sure. Anyway, Mel H. Thank you, Mel, for buying us a beer this week. Mel practice. Awesome. So in the week ahead, we've got 2 one-day workshops that we're doing at the back end of next week. So that's going to be cool, which, like we mentioned a few weeks ago, it's a bit of a palate cleanser for us to start the new year off. Yep. So really looking forward to doing those. Got a couple of little things up my sleeve for those, Cam, which little different to the last couple of years, but I'll fill you in on that as we go.
Don't cut the ass out of your pants again. That was embarrassing.
That was, wasn't it? I know that was embarrassing, but yeah. Anyway, so I got a very good photo of. Someone took a photo of me on that last year, and you made it into a sticker and sent it to me.
I took that photo.
Oh, you took that photo. There you go.
Photo. Yeah. on my big 150 to 400 mil lens that your friend just bought today.
Unbelievable. So yeah, I had a customer today that walked in and said they want an OM system, OM1 Mark II, and can I
Oh,
get them a price on the ones?
they went the camera as well.
They got the OM1 Mark II, and they were fishing around a few weeks ago for a 150 to 400 f4.5 with the 1.25 teleconverter. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
OM system lens, and yeah, they bit the bullet today and got themselves basically a $14,000 outfit, which is pretty cool. So looking forward to get now that lens is on back order, and he knew that as well. So
I'm not in stock again.
5 to 6 weeks. So luckily he is already an Olympus or an OM, mind you. I printed some photos for him today, and I'm just like, I can't wait to see you get this lens because his photos now are phenomenal.
Yeah.
A lot of he's a twitcher. He's into his birds. So this is what they call it, isn't it? Twitchers? I think so.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure. Let's make that happen. And yeah. So right into his birds, and as I say, an OM user. So he said to me he's got a big birthday coming up next week. He said it's got a 0 at the end of it, but he didn't tell me what the first number was. But I got a fair idea, I know. And he was treating himself. So,
5 or 6.
7. Maybe one more. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a fantastic birding lens. I must admit, I reckon that lens is about the only thing keeping me in the Olympus system at the moment, or the OM system.
Interesting that you should mention that, because there was talk this very week by the head honchos at Olympus that they are working on a new camera. Now, do you mind if I tell the private conversation that you and I had?
Yeah, go for it.
Because you said that it would be a travesty if they re-release a 20 megapixel sensor.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see, because we've talked about this before about Micro Four Thirds insofar as how many pixels can they put on this damn thing and keep it clean. Yep. They barely keep it clean at 20 megapixel. So when we say clean, noisy and that's
Panasonic are doing 24 megapixels okay on it.
Well, it stands to reason that Olympus OM system will do the same. So it'll be fascinating to see where they're headed.
I don't think it's even going to be that. I think it's going to be a pen camera, one of the old school retro pen cameras.
If anyone's got a Pen F they want to get rid of, can you reach out to me, please?
Yeah, a black one would be good. Thanks. Yeah, no, I don't like I said today, I'm a little bit disenchanted now.
Yeah,
I think as much as I hate to say it, I don't see them going anywhere. They just don't seem to release anything that's majorly mind blowing. Like they rehashed an old camera to make it an Astro camera.
Yeah, but they all have. I mean, it's interesting times. It's almost like they go to do all their research and development, but then they turn to their marketing department and look for what they should be doing in cameras rather than what we really want, So it's a shame that the world works like that, but it does. I mean, it's branding, it's marketing. They can't exist without selling cameras. So the only way they can sell them is to market them to people, people that probably aren't our demographic, mate. Let's be honest. And they're not targeting these new cameras at us. They're targeting them at influencers and TikTokers and all this sort of stuff, vloggers.
The stories I could tell you about marketing versus sales in that. I'm the same. I'm not going to rag them out. I love the brand, I always have, and I've got a lot of their gear still. But I can just see the writing on the wall. I think it's almost stumps for them. I think if they don't bring out something miraculous or new or different, I think people are just going to start saying, "Oh, what's the point? Why even bother bringing out a new camera if it's just got 2% increase on the last one?" So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully, but it's not.
Wouldn't it be awesome? So it's not till when?
They're not bringing anything out until the end of the year. That announcement said it'll be there later in the year.
I didn't read the fine print. I would love. So we're nearly done. But the last thing I want to mention is, you said what's 2025 hold for me? Please, Apple, please release your SLR. Please release your mirrorless SLR. I want to see this thing. I want to see a disruption to the marketplace, and I think Apple are the company that can do it. I'm excited by it. I think it's going to be cool. Hopefully it's mirrorless, it's going to be mirrorless, but hopefully it's full frame mirrorless. I really do think that they could blow the market wide open if they dip their toe in the water of mirrorless SLR.
Maybe that'd be exciting.
It would be. So, hey, who knows? We'll see. Well, let's tick that off at the back end of 2025 and see what came. I'm going to say probably not. Nothing's changed a lot, but anyway.
Have you noticed though? Nothing major really happens, does it? There's no cameras coming out there where you go, holy shit, that's amazing. The only thing we say, holy shit, now is the price tag.
Well, that's right. But things haven't. The digital revolution happened, and then the digital SLR revolution happened with cameras like the D100, and the D1X and that sort of stuff. They were great times. But unfortunately, yeah, nothing like that has come along to rattle many cages or to revolutionize anything. So, and look, it can't be easy. Geez, I mean, and as a wonderful person mentioned on the podcast last week, it's impossible to buy a bad camera now. It really is. Like, there's brilliant cameras out there. So it's hard to go back to the drawing board. It'd be fascinating to go into these R&D rooms where they're like 5 or 6 years, 10 years ahead, and look at what they're contemplating.
Yeah. Funny you say that you can't buy a bad camera. Pete Mellows is a guy down here in Tassie who does some interviews. He does a bit of a in the field photography sort of YouTube channel. I've never met the guy. He seems like a nice guy though. But he did one the other day where he's up out the back here in Tassie doing a shot, and he had a Pentax. And I'm like, well, you're about the only two. There's 2 people in Tasmania now that use Pentax, but
yes,
it's always a shock when you see a Pentax pop up and on the screen. You're like, oh wow, okay,
it kind of is. Yeah,
I see many of them.
Yeah, there's a couple of Pentax lenses here.
Well, they're more release, latest release than the ones ever got.
Oh, that's right. Those are my lovely Pentaxes. Yeah. Anyway, that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see where we go. So, are we done?
Yeah, I think so. How long have we been? Is that about an hour? I think that's about an hour.
We try and for.
Hopefully, my background is. I reckon I'm going to get complaints about this shoulder being a bit dark into this background.
We need feedback, people. It's what keeps us going. So that's no problem at all. Excellent. All right. Well, this has been episode 150 of the Down South Photo Show. We will see you for episode 151 next week. Bye for now.
See you later.